Is financial mastery about coming to awareness of the Creator within, sir?
Yes, very well said. You see, in order to fulfill one's responsibility, one must become a creator. And I think more responsibility is given if your capacity to be a creator is bigger. So it is coming down for us to recognize we are creators and we must live in creation, which means we must give birth to something, which means we have to be productive. That's it. The basic human right, you must create something. Either it's your personal creation or participating in another's creation, but you are creating. And I'll go into a little bit of spiritual understanding. Until you create, there is no fulfillment, no happiness. We have been cheated to just look for money without creating. And when you have money, you don't have a need to create. Now look at the logic. When I don't have to create, I never live as a creator. Actually, I'm dead. I have nothing to give. I have nothing to share. I am not alive. So what is mastery? Personal mastery. What is personal mastery? Is the tool to exercise the right to be a creator. You see, human beings, as they evolve, they found a field, they created a farm. They found weed, they planted, they made bread. We are creators, sir. But our mind now, I just want to address that part of the mind, is almost running not to be a creator. And can you see, when you are running towards there, you are running against you, which is not to live. You cannot find more joy than when you are creating. Too much, I'm actually addressing just this point. Not a lot of you. I'm addressing this teaching. This cunning mind just wants to look for money so they can be lazy. They can be in a non-creative state. We can't watch a man building a house and saying, wow, he's enjoying himself. We see the silly guy sitting in the beach doing nothing, reading a stupid book. Wow, he's enjoying life. Our mind is distorted. You can't see a mother looking after the baby and say, wow, she's enjoying life. We see the woman sitting in the salon getting a few hairs done, something to it. Wow, they are enjoying life. So the whole brain has been distorted. The day humanity can see the person working, creating, is actually living, and when you learn to envy that and say, I want that, for the first time you understand things rightly. Now, every one of you want to create. You want to give. The way I look at it, life is to exhaust love, and love is responsibility. Living out your responsibility is the opportunity to be alive. Yes, money is needed. It is a fuel, as how Madeline said it. So you look for the fuel. Why? To fulfill responsibilities. Like people, you need fuel in the car to travel somewhere. Now you're just collecting fuel but nowhere to go. And then we praise the person who has tons of fuel, but he has nowhere to go, and we think, wow, look at the guy. And then we think when he wants to go, he can go. He will not want to go anywhere, because that was not there in the first place. So the question again, read the question again, Tim.
The question is financial mastery about coming to awareness of the Creator within?
Absolutely. Well said. Well done. You see, the Creator is not within. I'll just make one more commentary. The one who have asked this question, the within, the without, the whole, is nothing but a creator. Find an opportunity to create. In that creation for another, you earn to fulfill your responsibility. The secretary is right. The secretary of life is right. You are a blessed one.
Wow. Okay. One more question came in from Cherise Sharon. This question came in from London. He says, from what you have said, this means that poor people that I even know have taken little responsibility in their life. But how could I help those people? I'm only 19 and I'm working for a year in England to come see you and also and also for my studies. I don't think they would listen to me.
Okay, few things. You have asked a lot of questions in a small question.
Yeah.
First, the poor people. You see, the poor people that are now are not poor accidentally. It was created by the false idea of money by people who hoard money. Is that, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it right. Hoard money and worship money, who took the money away. You see, originally there was no money. You need a farm. There were wild boars in the jungle. There were fish in the sea. The people hunt, lived. There was no idea of money. Every man could be a man to live out his responsibility. We lived in balance. Then money was created. So you got to understand, the poverty in the world was created by us. I don't think the poor person doesn't want to take responsibility, but the means to take responsibility has been taken away from him. So those who have money have the responsibility to set this right. Don't give them money. They don't ask you for money. I've met enough poor people. They ask you for the opportunity so they can live out being a creator. Give them the tools so they can create. But if you really look at the world, the poor nations are the one that works for the richer nations. Strange enough. Almost everything is made in China, so to say. I'm just joking. So now, he has asked this question about poor. So you must understand what is poverty. And yes, some poor people are people who forgotten to take responsibility. We must remind them to take responsibility. The next important thing he has said, he said he's young, whether people will listen. Understand this. Don't bother people listen. You speak, you live. They will eventually listen. Don't worry. Young or old, you do what you do. Make that part of your creation. Whether they will listen doesn't matter. But at least you have listened. That is good enough. Now, I bring this question to this. First, do I live in a way that I fulfill my responsibility? Two, do I live in a way I help others to learn how to fulfill their responsibility? Three, do I live in a way that I believe it's right for every man and woman to live in their right, which is to look after themselves in that dignity? Do I offer that? Or do I support the robbing of another's dignity and to enjoy the so-called power I get from it? If you are for people to live in dignity as how you like to live in dignity, declare yourself a friend to mankind. For the first time, we create financial mastery in the world. Men are not just men, women are not just women. They have a dignity to live out. You see, when I first started teaching, even though I am to teach meditation by my guru's instruction, but what I realize is mastery is what is missing, because only a man who lives out his dignity can ever taste meditation. So mastery is the first thing I taught. You must learn to take responsibility for yourself. You must. That's why that responsibility is given to you. I'm not saying don't help somebody who by some circumstance can't live out his responsibility. That is kindness. You do, you help out. But your help so he can help himself. If not, money has a very distorted meaning. It's very strange, life plays itself out. I like the invention of money. You know why? When you die, you have to leave it behind. So it's a clue. If you just have enough to fulfill your responsibility, absolutely, that should be more than enough. Go ahead.
Talking about poverty, here's a question. How can governments play a role in banishing poverty? Is it possible?
Have they played? That is my question. I think a lot of countries where the people are poor, the government kind of enjoys keeping them poor, just talking as though they want them to be rich, but actually they want to keep them poor. Because poor people can be ruled. When you take away people's dignity, they will do anything. So what we must be for? We must be for government that wants to restore its citizens' responsibility. We must be for that government, not the government that wants to rob its people's dignity so it can rule them. I am glad to say Malaysia is a country that is for people to live in their dignity. And they are working very hard on it.
Okay, Prasad came, another question came in from Prasad. His question is, he made a statement first. Many people, especially older generation, doesn't have high interest in being strong financially. For them, being financially unfit doesn't damage their life dignity and life's happiness. But then, things are not the same with their kids and future generations. If you want greater quality of life, money is a must-have tool to obtain greater success. What is your take on this?
Again, go through the question again.
It's a very long statement.
Yeah.
Many people, especially the older generation, do not have high interest in being strong financially.
Okay, hang on there. They are wise. They know they're going to go. They rather travel light. Only when you are young, you are crazy. When you get older, you know, and you see them in temples. They know. So there is a wisdom to them. Continue the statement.
For them, being financially unfit doesn't damage their life dignity and life's happiness.
Financially unfit does not damage their dignity. Yeah, because in the East, our investment is our children. So why? They have done the best part, now you do your part. And that is right. As they get older, they should worry less about money. So they can worry more about other things. So it's okay. I'm for it. They get older, that's why they have children.
So is it okay to say that in the East, culturally, we have never linked money to survival?
No, we have linked it to doing responsibility, and we live by communal law. The mother looks after the child. The time comes, the child looks after the mother. It is a beautiful paying back of responsibility. We lived by that law. That is why in the East we don't value money in that context. So maybe if the older people are not bothered, they are still subscribing to the older idea, not knowing the modern day children are infected with a new disease. So the best thing is to tell the parents that, oh, your children are no more subscribing to the old idea, they are infected with this new idea of worshipping money. Now when I put it in that context, the head spins a little bit. Let's move on.
Nice.